Alrighty, folks, we got a special treat for you today. We have the one and only Adrian Hernandez, who will be speaking at WealthCon this Saturday in Las Vegas. What I've asked him to do is we're just going to run through the presentation like we are in the audience, and then I will post this on Sunday. So we all get to see it. Adrian gets a little practice. I will be watching the time. It's all good. Alrighty, Adrian, the floor is yours. I will start the clock once you
One
get
second.
going. Oh, no problem. Take your time.
Are we going to do this with the slides?
Yeah, do it with slides, man. Like you're up on stage, baby. Come on.
Let's go. What's going on, everybody? I'm excited to share this with you. My heart and soul has went into this presentation. So let's get going. 1 second. All right. Ready, Zuber?
Yep. Once you start going, I'm going to start the clock, and then I'm just going to be silent till you're done.
Cool. And then get this on. We flipping?
Yep, we're good.
Good. All right. Ready?
Yep. Let's go.
3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? Good morning, Las Vegas. You guys, my name is Adrian Hernandez, as Brian just said. And you guys, I'm here today to share with you a couple of things. I know Brian said, that him and I started off in the industry together. And I actually started off when I was 20 years old. So I got started when I was 20 years old, started selling real estate. And you know what's cool, guys, is my wife is here. So that's a photo of on the slides here. It's a photo of my wife and I and our baby, Kaden. And my wife is here. She's over there to the right-hand side. Let's give my wife, Kellyanne Hernandez, a round of applause. Give my wife, Kellyanne Hernandez.
Woohoo! Yay!
Some of you guys are probably wondering, how the heck did that happen, right? How did that happen? She is much taller than he is, right? I don't know if you guys can see this, but she's like 5'10", guys, and she's, it's funny. Is she wearing heels? And she's not wearing heels, right? When she's wearing heels, she's like 6 foot. And I don't know if you could see this or not, but I'm like 5'5" on a good day, right? With my Nike on, I'm like 5'5". And it's so funny because people meet us now and they go, wow, he must have a really large portfolio, or he has a lot of money, right? And it's absolutely not the case. It's funny because when we first met, I didn't have anything. I didn't have a penny to my name, guys. And it's so cool that she's here with me today, because our first vacation was, it's surreal, but it was here in Vegas. The first vacation we ever took when we were, let's call it hooking up, right, was here in Vegas. And I was dead broke, guys. And I don't even think she realized how broke I was. I think she realized it. You guys know, if you're in California, you're driving up the 15 to come to Vegas, there's that Del Taco in Barstow. Well, we stopped at the Del Taco in Barstow to get lunch. And I don't think she realized how broke I was until I couldn't pay for lunch at Del Taco. Like, I remember looking at her like, I told you I didn't have any money, right? And at that point, she realized how broke I was. And she paid for Del Taco. She paid for the entire trip. We actually stood at the Rio right behind us. And it's so surreal to see us back here today, guys. I'm now an 8-figure real estate entrepreneur. This year, My Home Sold, which is a wholesale company of ours, will do $6 million in assignment fees. I own 5 different companies. I've coached over 150 agents, and that's all cool. But what's really important, because this isn't important, what's really important is how this kid up here, this 20-year-old kid that you guys see behind me with that oversized shirt, pants, dress shoes, how that kid had these thoughts, how this kid had these thoughts. He had these visual aspects in his mind. He had this way about going about life that really wasn't getting him to where he wanted to go. And what I'm here today is I'm here to share with you guys the 6 million that we'll do this year. That's kind of cool. But what's really cool is the mindset things that we can unlock, the things that we can unlock emotionally, the things we can unlock in our thoughts, the things we can unlock in our mind that can really help us go to the next level. And so what I'm here to do is I'm here to share with you how these things not just changed my life, but have changed so many other people's lives around me, because I didn't make any of this stuff up, guys. I mean, would you guys all agree in this room that success leaves clues? Yes or no? By a show of hands, the success leaves clues. Yes, success. And we all know that, right? And I'll never forget when I was cold calling, and it was right after this. Now, you guys, if I go back, I started off as a 20-year-old agent, but prior to that, I was an assistant. So this was me. I had just transitioned. I was actually finishing up some assistant work, right? And my, you know, what's cool is my wife actually took my job as being an assistant. That's how we're together right now, right? I actually trained her. She didn't like me for a few months, and then my my charm, you know, kind of is right. But anyways, so that was me as an assistant. I was cold calling at the time. So I'll never forget, guys. I believe it was a Tuesday. It was like a Tuesday afternoon. And I'm cold calling, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna take a break. I need to go. I'm gonna go clear my mind. I wasn't really getting anywhere. You know, when you're cold calling, you're just in that funk, right? So you're in a funk. I'm like, I'm gonna leave the office. So I go to my buddy's house. And my buddy, they were all in a rock band and they're there jamming out, right? And I go and I'm hanging out with them. And you know, it was interesting, guys, because I remember this day like it was yesterday, because it was the most pivotal day in my life. I believe that changed my career, because I'm sitting in this room. I was actually standing. I'm standing in this room. I look just like that. I got the oversized shirt on from Ross. I got those, you know, those pants. I got those like Steve Harvey shoes going on, and those, what are those, like vampire sideburns? Anyways, I'm dressed like that, and I'm in this garage, and all of a sudden I look over to my left, and I got a group of my friends rolling a blunt. I look across the way from me, and I got another group of friends that are pouring some shots. Now, you guys, it's a Tuesday at like noon. And then I look over to my right, and this is when my life really changed, because I noticed that a group of my friends had a piece of foil. And I got this smell. It's like this real tingy smell, like almost stung the nostrils. And I look over, and they have this piece of foil and the straw, and they're smoking Oxycontin. Right, like right there. They're just smoking Oxycontin. And at that time, I realized that I was in the wrong room. You guys ever felt like you've ever been in the wrong room by a show of hands? Has anybody ever felt like they've been in the wrong room? Like you just didn't belong? You guys, it was at that moment that my life drastically changed. Because see, I made a decision. If you're taking notes, I want you to write this down. It's in the moments of decision that your destiny is changed. It's in the moments of decision that your destiny has changed. Because at that moment, I had to make a decision. And I believe it was the day that I changed the old me, this version that you see up here, to the person that you see on this stage. That photo of me. If I didn't do this, I don't think that I would be here. Right now, I don't think that I would be here. I made a decision on my way back to the office, because I left. And on my way back to the office, I decided that I needed to change the thoughts and the visual aspects that were going on in my mind, because that is what took me to that garage. That's what took me to that room that I knew that I shouldn't have been in. Rooms that were pulling me away from my goals. I mean, how many of you guys know right now that you're in the right room? This room helps you get to your goals by a show of hands. How many of you guys can agree with that you're in the right room? And if I can share with you some things on how to get out of those rooms that we don't belong in, and some rooms that we do belong in, some things that are really going to get us to where we want to go, really help us connect those dots and meet those people that are going to help us get to where they want to go. If I could share that with you, are you open to playing full out with me today? Are you guys open to playing full out by a show of hands? I love it. So thank you. Thank you. Zuber's the one excited in the front. I love it. Let's give it up for Zuber. Let's give it up for Zuber. Yeah. So I'm driving back and I started to ask myself, what have you been visualizing? Because you guys, what's crazy is so many of us dream when we're asleep, but so few of us have the courage to dream when we're awake. And when you decide to dream when you're awake, and you decide to close your eyes and see what you want your future life to be, not the current moment, but where you're going, there's something crazy that happens. I believe it's the bridge that connects you from where you're at to where you want to go. It's seeing these thoughts, but we got to change the people around us. We got to change the situation. We got to change all of these things I'm going to share with you that keep us exactly where we're at right now. And I'm going to show you how to release those things to get us to where we want to go. And the first thing was visualizing those thoughts, guys, but we have to change the environment. So as I'm driving back, I made a decision. And if you're taking notes, I want you to go to a clean sheet of paper. I want you to go to a clean sheet of paper in your notes. And I want you to draw a line down the middle, because this is exactly what I did. I got a clean sheet of paper and I drew a line down the middle. And on the left-hand side, I wrote down everybody that was a negative to my life. Everybody that was not helping me get to where I wanted to go. My friends, the people around me. Yes, there were even family members on that list. And if you're taking notes, I want you to write down just a few people that aren't helping you. They're not serving you. They're not helping you get to where you want to go. That if anything, they're negative when you bring up where you want to go. Write them down. And then on the right-hand side of the page, I started to write down everybody that was a positive influence to my life. Everybody that helped me get to where I wanted to go, that affirmed, that they were positive, right? They knew, I was a part of the right tribe. These people needed to be with me to help me get to where I needed to go. Write those people down. And then I made a decision that I had to put the left column, those people that weren't serving me, I had to find a way, because some people I just can't get rid of, right? There's family members you just can't get rid of, right? You can't just get rid of your mom, right? So we can't get rid of the people on the left-hand side of the page, but we can create some boundaries. And what I did, it changed my life when I wrote that down. But we can write things down all day long. But unless we take action on them, they're nothing but words on a paper. So even though I wrote this down, then the next thought was, okay, what do I need to take action on? Because the first step is writing it down. The next step, I got to take action. Okay, so what do I need to take action on? You know what? I'm going to send a text. And I sent a text out to all of my friends that were in that garage, friends that I played beer pong with, friends that I drank beers with, hung out with, smoked weed with. I sent a text to all these friends saying, hey guys, I'm going on a journey. I'm going on a journey. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to go all in on my career, and I hope you're there when I get back. There are only 2 of them that responded. Only 2. Out of all my friends, only 2. You know what's crazy is those 2 I'm still friends with today. You know what's crazy is us 3 were the highest, we have the highest net worth out of all of the friends groups, from we put all the friends groups together, like top 3. Success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. But not only did I had to take that action, but I also had to start to see where I wanted my life to go. And this was that first action step that really broke that barrier for me. I was finally sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I started to have to change how I was seeing things. So I would close my eyes and I would visualize where I wanted my future life to be. I would close my eyes and see an office in Orange County. I would see an office by the water. I would see our home with a beautiful view of the ocean. I would see myself doing 100 deals a year. I would see myself buying 10 rentals. I would see myself collecting positive cash flow every single month. You guys, I had to close my eyes and see this stuff in order for it to happen. Because you guys have all heard this saying, in order to hold it in your hands, you first must see it in your mind. Mickey would not be here today if it wasn't for Walt Disney seeing Mickey in his mind. Had he not visualized Mickey, Mickey wouldn't be Mickey. My kid would be pissed. But it's the visual aspect. It's the scene. So we start to see this new life. We start to see what we want to happen. And then we got to bridge. We got to connect the dots. We got to connect the dots. So if you guys are all taking notes, number 1 was I see, but we got to connect it. So when we start to see, I want us to take a look at the success cycle. Because when we start to see our lives better than what they are, when we start to close our eyes and have the courage to dream when we're awake, those are going to start to create some new thoughts. And those thoughts are going to create some new emotions. And those emotions are going to create some new actions. And those actions are going to drive a new result. And that result is going to reinforce the first initial thought. Now, this happens in both the positive and the negative. Because if I have negative words that come out of my mouth, here, let's go back to this. If I'm this kid and the negative thoughts that were going on in my mind is that I was too short, I had big ears, right? I was ugly. I had all of these negative thoughts. I'm Mexican, but yet I don't speak Spanish. I had all of these thoughts in my mind. And how do you think they made me feel? You think they made me feel less than or more than? They made me feel less than. You're right. They made me feel less than. And then I wouldn't take the action, so then I wouldn't get the result. So I had to change my thoughts. I had to change my thoughts because I realized something. The thoughts are linked to a little thing called BS. Does anybody know what BS in this room stands for? BS. All right, we got, Omar said bullshit, right? All right, we got bullshit, all right? We got bullshit over there. And bullshit. Every time I ask this question, I get bullshit. And it could be bullshit. But what it really is your belief systems. Because your belief systems are what's tied to your thoughts. They're what's tied to that first initial, which was number one, which was the IC, which was the visualization aspect. They're tied to that. So what are you believing? It's the BS story that is driving your life. It's the belief systems that are driving your life that are either helping you get to where you want to go or not helping you get to where you want to go. And these are systems that are giving you that can change your beliefs because it's the BS that keeps us exactly where we're at. You guys, I could have bought into all of the negative thoughts as this kid. I could have bought into all of the BS. But I chose not to. Instead, I chose to create a new story that helped me get here today. And that's helping me get even further tomorrow. But I had to create a new vision. I had to start creating some new thoughts. So number two is I can. It's incantations. And what is an incantation, Adrian? Well, an incantation is an affirmation that's spoken with emotion. It's when you say something and you just don't say it, but you say it and you body it, you own it. That's you. And you say it with such emotion that other people believe it. Now, at the beginning of doing of incantations, your mind is going to play tricks on you because remember, there's a little thing called the ego. And the ego is there to protect you. So when we start to change who we are, we start to change the thoughts that are coming out or that are in our mind, and we start to change the words that are coming out of our mouth, our ego is going to try to fight that. And remember, you guys have all heard this. Your ego is not your what? It's not your amigo. Your ego is not your amigo. So when you're doing these incantations, just understand that you got to do them over time. It's repetition, right? Repetition is the mother of mastery. We got to do it over and over and over again, and eventually you'll buy into it. So, I changed the visual aspect. I realized that this was linked to my thoughts, so I had to start to change the incantations. So every day I say to myself when I wake up, I'm alive, I'm excited, I'm full of energy. I now demand my subconscious mind to direct me in helping as many people as possible today to better their lives by giving me the strength, the persuasion, the bravery, the humor, whatever it takes to show these people and to get these people to change their lives now. And I say that to myself over and over and over again because I want to link this. I want to bridge this gap. Am I making sense here, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
So see, I can. Thank you, Zuber. See, I can. See, incantations. We have to, and I want to challenge you to write down some incantations on where you want to go. Like, for instance, if you want more money, right? I say that I'm a money magnet, right? Or I want to do more deals. I say I do deals easily and effortlessly. But we got to start to change that. Because understand, guys, if I spoke to myself the same way that this kid spoke to himself, it would be very hard for me to achieve anything great. And the old you is tied to thoughts. They're tied to incantations that you're already telling yourself without you even knowing it. And we got to change that. And the next piece of this is the I am. And this is your true identity. Because every single time, now you guys, we've made millions of dollars in real estate. I've also lost millions of dollars in real estate. And every single time I lose, it's always connected because I'm not being who I truly am. And, I'll never forget when Ryan's had Brad Lee here multiple times, but I'll never forget the first time he had Brad Lee here. And Brad Lee said, you can never outperform your true identity. You can never outperform your true identity. However, what is your true identity? I believe that the identity is what brings this all together because we have to, yes, as we're visualizing, we have to see ourselves bigger than what we are. That increases our identity. We're going to speak to ourselves bigger than what we are. That increases our identity. But then I got to ask you, who are you truly? Who are you truly? And let's go way back because most of you shouldn't be here today. Most of you in this room should not be here today. Just like myself, a lot of you should not be here today. Do you guys know what had to happen? What sources, what had to come together? What situations had to take place for you to be in this room? What does Gary Vee said? It's like 1 in every 86 100 million of what is like crazy number of the odds of you being here today, but yet here we are. And you guys, I like really shouldn't be here today. My father, my true father, my actual biological father. Okay, I was born in a city called Huntington Park, California, in Los Angeles, gang-infested area. My actual father, biological father, died when I was like 6 months old. His friend shot and killed him. I was like 6 months old. I had no idea. It wasn't until I went to get my driver's license that I have this birth certificate that says Adrian Matthew Espinoza Hernandez. Mom, who's this Espinoza guy? Well, as I started doing a little bit further research, I found out that my mom didn't even know she was pregnant of me till like the 4th or 5th month. You can't do anything with the baby at that stage. And I just want you guys to think about somebody that is not here today, somebody that has passed on to the other life, because I want to remind you of something. The worst day is not the day my dad died. The worst day is not the day that that person died. The worst day is going to be the day when they meet the person you could have became. And I don't know about you, but I'm not going to let my dad meet a less version of me. You see, I believe without my dad even knowing it, that he gave his life for me. And without you even knowing it, there is somebody that has given their life for you to be here today. There is somebody that is giving you their life for you to be here today. And yet we are choosing not to play all out. We are choosing not to buy into who we really are. We are choosing not to make the investment in ourselves, not to do the work, not to put in the action. And I got to ask you, how would it feel the day you died and you met the person you could have became? Because that's hell. That's hell. And I want to challenge each and every single one of you to find who you truly are and dig deep on that. Dig deep on it, because you were made in the glory of God. And everything you have within you now is what you need to go make yourself successful, to go do what you need to do. You don't need anything from anybody. You just need to buy into yourself a little bit more. You just have to have the courage to dream when you're awake. You just have to have the courage to change the thoughts that are in your head. Are you guys following me here? Yes or no? Are you guys following me? Now, you guys, yes. I would not be here today, and I would not, if I did not take these actions, I wouldn't be on this stage with you. Because at the beginning of this year, and I think I'm running out of time, but at the beginning of this year, I made a goal. I made a goal that I'm going to speak at WealthCon. I don't know how it was going to happen, but I visualized myself on this stage. I started to say things to myself that were going to get me here. I took the action it took. I took myself and I put myself on uncomfortable stages. I found a way to break through. I found a way to give it my all when I did have the presentation. And here I am. And I believe that you can do the same thing if you just choose to buy in yourself, because I was in your seat. I've been where you've been. And I know it's hard, but I believe in you. And I know you can do it. There's just some things we got to implement to help take us to the next level. And this is the last one. And I can't give you this. You can only give yourself this. And this is to choose. You got to choose to take the action. You're going to learn a lot of great stuff here this weekend. You're going to learn from a lot of great speakers. And unless you choose to write it down, and unless you choose to play all out, and unless you choose to make the investment on yourself, it's going to be very, very hard for you to get to where you want to go. So this last part is to choose. This last part is to choose, and you got to choose, because remember, it's in the moments of decision that your destiny is changed. What are you going to choose, and what are you going to decide to do? How are you going to make sure that when you meet the person waiting for you in heaven, they're going to meet the best version of you? Now, you guys, I always want to leave on a high note. So if you guys can do me a huge favor, if everybody can stand up, everybody can stand up. Now, my name is Adrian Hernandez. You can follow me on Instagram at Adrian Hernandez. I appreciate the time I had with you this morning. If everybody can do me a huge favor, we're going to go, I am a wealthy investor. We're going to say this 3 times, and we're going to do some incantations right now. But I want you guys to embody this, and I want you to say this so loud that the chips on the crafts table upstairs vibrate off the table. Are you guys with me? Are you guys with me? So we're going to say, I am a wealthy investor 3 times. You ready? I'm a wealthy investor. I'm a wealthy investor. I'm a wealthy investor. I'm Adrian Hernandez. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Vegas.
23 minutes and 50 seconds. Pretty much
23 minutes.
Yeah, 23.
Let's go.
That was good.
So all right. I want real, actual, Zuber, real.
Yeah.
Thoughts.
So bring up the PowerPoint. You were on one slide a lot. The one with you standing by those contracts. That slide was probably up for 8 minutes, maybe 9 minutes. I think what I would do is I would probably add a couple of other pictures from that era, just to kind of change up the sight lines a little.
Okay.
I think that was the big thing I took from this.
I was gonna have them see if I could talk to the AV team when we got here, to where when I said, okay, switch the camera back to me, where they dropped this photo and put all the cameras on me. And I don't know if that's possible or not.
I'm sure it's possible. When I was there, I didn't notice anybody do that. I think once they got the PowerPoint up, they were just comfortable leaving it there. Okay. I think that would be adding risk, right? Go to you, go to them, go to. I just think I would add a couple, 3 more photos on this that kind of build, and you could actually time them. Get somebody to like have a different one, because if you're I like what you did on this slide. You just got to remember, some people need to be like, if you hit them with a different picture, like it just popped up at minute 2, it'd be like, oh, it changed, right? I think that was my big takeaway. I love the format of the words, very clean, all roughly the same size. I loved your ending. I'm a wealthy investor. That was very well done. The other thing, can you go back to that circle? I think you could hit this a little harder if you have that extra minute, because of all your slides. I think this is the one people need to take notes on and really need to, you know what I might do with this is I might take this slide and add it right before the I'm a wealthy investor, like hit it again, like do all these things and like put up the circle again. Now, let me remind you what I did. I can, I am, I choose. Let's look at the success circle again, and bing, bing, bing. And then you close strong with the I'm a wealthy investor.
So good.
Because this is what you want. This is like the notes, right? This is what you're hoping people get. Right. And then if you close with this, you can say, you could put I can here, I this, I that. I think you hit this again.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Drive it home at the end with it.
Yeah. Hit that slide again. So those are like a couple of small things, but clearly passionate, clearly energy. Your story is authentic. You carry it well. Yeah.
Is the content relatable? Does it make you want to take action? Is it energized? The content.
Yeah, I think you've given it's digestible, right? 25 minutes is hard. It's hard. Right. You basically got him 3 points. You gave him the success circle. You let him know you're a human. You got a crazy story, right? Your dad was shot at 6 months old. Mom didn't know she was pregnant. You got your buddy smoking out and doing all kinds of drugs. You realize you got to do something different. I think it's, I think it's a funny story, right? You're 5'5", your wife's 6 foot in heels. I think you carry that more than you should, right? I think it's like, haha. I don't think most people pick up on that, right? If you want to say you punched up because she's beautiful and all of those things, I think that's more of a cool than the height thing. I think that's more of a you thing.
Therapy session. I couldn't agree more.
Short. I feel short. See, 6 foot. Yeah.
I also say it just to break the ice, just to get laughs.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
I think you're doing it, but I think I would hammer home. She's beautiful, clearly out of your league. I think that's what I would hammer home.
Okay. Oh, I like that. I like that.
Right. And you didn't let that stop you. You kept trying. You kept going for the close. And then she's paying for your Del Tacos. That was a great story.
Yeah, taco story. Yeah.
Yeah, hit that. I mean, like she's beautiful out of your league and she's paying. Man, you could sell.
I love that. I actually love that way better than before. All right, cool. Yeah, and I can wrap that. I could be like, that was my toughest lead follow up.
That was my
Yeah.
following up, kept following up, kept following up. I was going to close that thing come hell or high water. And if you wanted, you could tie it into Grant Cardone, right? Grant Cardone tells all the time how he had closed Elena Cardone over 15 months and like 12 phone calls.
Right.
Yeah, you
Ah,
could
I
make
love that. That got way better. Heck yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
you and Grant Cardone are the same. You got beautiful women out of your league. You had close, close, close. I think
Follow.
I'd hit that. Follow up intensely. Yeah.
I love it. Okay. All right. I'm gonna loop that in. Um, the I see that all kind of
Yeah.
flow.
As long as
And
you hit it again with that success slide, because that was, I think that was the hook. Because I think because you go through that in like 7 or 7.5 minutes, but most people are tuning out. So you got to hit them with the success side again. Now let me take those three things that I just gave you and tie it to this slide. This is your page of notes. This is the thing you should draw. I can. This hit that
love it.
again.
All right. Cool.
Done, man.
Content, overall
Crush it.
content.
Yeah. Energy. You clearly are comfortable speaking. You changed your voice. You changed your speed. You weren't monotone. You had engaging questions where the audience will clearly react. Um, well
All
done.
right.
Well done.
I was trying to take my hour that I typically do, add stories into 20 minutes. Yeah.
Slamming it in 20 minutes. Tough.
So,
Yeah, I practice mine a lot, and I still, in real life, um, I had to rush the last two slides. Like yeah. So it's
timer's right there, right?
yeah, there is a timer. It's at least for me, it was down to the right.
Okay.
Yeah, clearly eyesight. Yeah, big,
All right.
big, big sign. Yeah, you'll be good.
Cool. Love it. You coming down?
All right. No, we come to Vegas. We don't get there till we come back to Vegas Saturday night. So we'll miss your thing. But I might swing by Sunday. I haven't decided.
Okay. Yeah, let me know. We take
Cool.
off like Sunday afternoon, I think at 3.
Okay, cool. All right. Thanks, buddy. Good luck.
I appreciate you, man.
Of course. Later. Bye.